Good afternoon. Evening? Evening.
Evening.
It's evening. Brett and Cindy, 10, 11. Corinthians discussion.
1 Corinthians chapter 9, chapter 10.
All this rain's got me dragging this evening.
You ready for bed?
I am too, and it's not even bedtime yet.
No. He says no, a little after 8.
Go to bed now, we'd be up at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's not in the discussion.
No.
But it does kind of come back with chapter 9 does talk about bringing yourself into subjection and doing things the right way. And how,
He reminds them that he is an apostle. He does have the power. We all have the power.
mm-hmm.
I remember that part in the first of it. He just remind them, he is an apostle.
Yeah. When he's talking about preaching and teaching, what is my reward then, verily, that when I preach the gospel, I'm going to make the gospel of Christ without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel. We talk and we preach and we teach about Jesus Christ, and He's the one who gives us power and strength and ability to do the things that we need to do. And then, kind of goes along with, Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yeah.
Paul reiterates that over there. It's kind of the same thing to me here. He's saying, we talk Christ. We talk about Christ. And without Him, what's the point of talking about it? And then, I like 24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that you may obtain. In today's society, we want to give everybody a trophy just because they showed up one time. But God's like, right here He said, everybody runs.
14's a good one.
But only one's a prize. And we got to run to obtain that prize.
Verse 14's a kind of a stunner. It says, even so hath the Lord ordained that they which preach the gospel should live in the gospel.
Mm-hmm. If you preach,
you can't just do what I say. You should be an example too.
Well, it's like 27.
Not just preach it, but you need to live the example best you can.
But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to not only talk the talk, got to walk the walk.
Yeah, that's what he was doing in 9. He would remind them who he is and why he does what he does and the power that we have in Christ.
And 10...
and how we should act with that power.
Oh, yeah. 10 kind of says, hey, but I guess I turn my page. Verse 4, and all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of the spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. It's talking about unity, and now we all, I know it's referring to the Israelite people, and how that Moses and them was being led and stuff, but they were led, some of them didn't follow the right path, but they were all given the opportunity to follow.
He was giving them examples out of the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm. And then verse 13 is talking about temptation. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. People think that we don't get tested and that God tests us, but God doesn't test us or tempt us. He just allows us to be. It's kind of like Job. when Satan would come up to the side, talk about, what have you been doing? Oh, just wandering here and there. God even looked at him and said, well, have you considered my servant Job? God even put it out there, hey, I got a faithful one here. Try him. And I think sometimes he still does that to us too. It's like, yeah, well, let's see how faithful they'll stay. I'll let you test them.
He was referring several verses in here about idols. And he gets down to the bottom about like 21. You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. You cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and the table of the devils. You got to decide which side you're on. Stop straddling the fence.
Like 26, for the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. I know in several places it makes reference to the devil is, there's a reference in the, I just went blank on where it is. The devil is like a lion seeking whom he may devour. He's roaming around seeking whom he may devour. And it's talking about being tempted and trying to be two different things, We're in this world, but we're not of this world.
I like 31. Whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of God. Give him the glory.
Everything we say, we do, we move, everything about us should bring God glory. And if it doesn't, that comes back to those self-checks.
Yep.
Check yourself to make sure you're doing what the Lord would have you to do.
And 33 kind of winds it up, don't he? Says, even as I please all men in all things, not seeking mine own profit, but the profit of many, that they may be saved. He'll do whatever he has to get on their level and try to explain to them best he can. They'll change their mind and come to the Lord.
Yep. Because in the end, it's all about whose side are you on.
Yep.
Whose side are you on? Oh.
That was two interesting chapters.
Oh, makes you think.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about this? What's your thoughts on chapter 9 and chapter 10? Leave us a comment.
Have a great evening.
God bless.